So I'm gonna share a couple of pieces. I'm not used to sitting down in a chair, so I have to get used to this. I'm used to walking across stage and spoken words. So I'm used to a little different kind of environment. Buckle the button just a little bit so I can get a little warmer, a little less warm. All right. So here we go. First poem is from my chapbook. It's a limited edition chapbook called Poems in the Key of Green. And this one is called Concretely. I guess I'll read it.
What's it called?
It's called Concretely. Touched and not fucked. Felt and not fondled. I like to make love with no roles, with no models. I like to stroke gently every space of a man and not feel his manhood could be threatened by the brush of my hand. I like to throw my neck back and whisper words softly, open a spiritual space like my ancestors taught me. Like a violet at midnight, I want to shine in the moon, taste the rhythm of love at the prism's prelude. And as this countdown continues, let this vessel contract, a cathartic contortion of this arch in my back. If I could ever love again, I would ask for just that. I'd ask to love completely, concretely, and black. This next one's called We Are Not the Kind of Boys You Want. I was a part of a community center in Atlanta, which is for young African American gay men. And I do a lot around politics of desire. So this piece kind of speaks to that. It's called We Are Not the Kind of Boys We Want. We are not the kind of boys we want. I said, we are not the kind of boys we want. We are not the muscle-fitted, do-rag wearing, shoulders sturdy, broad and daring. We are not the baritone speaking, block motion reaching, testosterone jeering, black, butch men. No, we are not. Instead, we are often limp-wristed, high-pitched, circular in motion and dressed with good stitch. We are often emotive and outward, bodies human and beautiful and imperfect design. We may like to cook, to read, to snap, or to cry. But you, but me, but we, but I, we are not the kind of boys we want. We sit in cafes, stare out as vultures in need. What drives this desire for the masculinity of which we feed? Boys like us walk by and we shake our heads in disgust. Look at that queen, that woman, that cunt. Disgusted at images that mirror back at and between us, we don't find ourselves worthy as objects of our own lust. We are not the kind of boys we want. I said, we are not the kind of boys we want. But who will have we if we don't want to have us? All right. This poem is about my father's and my... Actually, no, I'm going to do it. This poem is called Faggots Are Not Responsible. It was written in response to an open mic that I go to in Atlanta, and there was a brother on stage who was doing a poem that at one point was completely unrelated to anything gay. And then, like, all of a sudden, he's like, talking about, the apples and the trees. And like, and faggots are the reason my wife left me. And everybody's like, what just happened? Like, it just switched. Like, it just came out of nowhere. And everybody just kind of was like, whoa. Then he went and, like, he said something crazy like, faggots have been stealing his socks. It just got really crazy. It was like, what is going on? Like, everything in the world ended up being this issue with gay people. And so I wrote this poem in response to that, and it's called Faggots Are Not Responsible. What you're going through, faggots are not responsible. Okay. I'm sorry, sir. Faggots are not responsible. See, we are not responsible for your pain or your fears, or the way the system fucks you year after year. We're not responsible for Uncle Johnny that evening when he touched you. We're not the reason white folks, cops, or politicians don't trust you. Our tight jeans and MAC makeup, that's not the real reason you get angry. You may look at our styles and our mannerisms strangely, but to walk out the door and to live life as us, it takes a lot of bravery and courage. It is most definitely not for punks. No, sir, we are not responsible for any erections you get when you see us. We're not offended when you choose not to befriend, like, or be us. See, I don't believe faggots are the real problem here. Aggression and ignorance are the issue. Compassion is the only answer. And goddess knows, nigga, I just wish you'd heal yourself. Or maybe we could heal us. Find the space where our labels, binaries, and definitions touch. Dust off the mirror that reveals you as a reflection of me. See, the real problem isn't faggots here. The problem is all the pain and anger in the way that we can't see clearly. I'm sorry, sir. Faggots are not responsible for your pain and anger. However, as human beings and as your brother, I do believe we each are responsible for your healing. I'll read one I don't often read. It's the first poem I ever have published. It's really exciting. Franklin, let me know what I need to shut up. Okay. This one's dedicated to black women. Black women birthed me into believing I was worthy and I was whole. Told me the notion of inadequacy and sin was a lie that had been bought that should have never been sold. Taught me the Creator was evident in every crevice, from the legs of an ant to a strand of my hair. Told me that if I ever wanted to find God, to look at the faces of my family, and she would be there. Taught me that flowers were just a small manifestation of the life I could bring forth from the soil of my hands. Taught me that true warriors only carry compassion. So you might be listening, but you may not understand. I was trained in the spirit by Susan Taylor. Learned how to protect myself from Ida Wells. Audre Lorde gave me strength to speak through the silence. Iyanla taught me how we often create our own personal hells. Zola Nehurston said, speak my mind on injustice, no matter what the church-going folk got to say. Harriet Tubman reminded me that as a descendant of her, I could never be lost, that I knew the way. Alice Walker reminded me black people were magic and sent me out to cast healing spells. Lauryn Hill said, as long as you write from your heart, why should we give a damn if it ever sells? I am a descendant of mothers of blackness. Black women birthed me into my truth. For this, I am forever grateful. For this, I must say many thanks to you.